is you. Please give him a warm welcome, Bruce Richman.
I'm very tall. The risk from positive bodies has been exaggerated for far too long. It's time to redefine what it means to live with HIV. So 2 years ago, activists and researchers launched the U equals U campaign to communicate a scientific fact. A person living with HIV who is on treatment and has an undetectable viral load cannot sexually transmit HIV. Undetectable is untransmittable. U equals U. Many of us who are HIV positive never imagined a time when we would love, have sex, have babies without fear. That risk has been ever present in the most intimate moments of our lives. We have been living and dying with HIV stigma for far too long. U equals U sets us free. We can use the science to promote adherence, modernize criminalization laws, and as a public health argument for universal access to treatment, care, and services to keep us healthy and our partners healthy and bring us closer to ending the epidemic. Knowledge about U equals U changes everything. So why is it so hard for people to say it? We're up against decades of exaggerated fears of HIV and people with HIV. Systems that overprotect HIV-negative people at the expense of our health and human rights. Systems steeped in prejudice and paternalism that have given permission to HIV information providers, including our own HIV-positive leaders, to decide for us rather than educate us, to control people living with HIV rather than trust people living with HIV, especially communities that are already neglected by the healthcare systems. We believe all people living with HIV have a right to accurate information about our social, sexual, and reproductive health. Withholding that information from us is an act of violence against us. These are our bodies. This is our right. Tell the truth, or we'll tell it for you. And we are telling the truth all over the world. The U equals U movement is now reaching nearly 100 countries. We're saying K equals K in Vietnam, B equals B in Turkey, I equals I in Spain and Portugal, N equals N in the Netherlands and Russia. We're playing U equals U songs in Uganda, and we're dancing in the streets in New York City. Treatment guidelines have been updated in Vietnam and Australia, and national campaigns have been launched in the United Kingdom, Italy, France, Australia, and many other countries. Many of our activists have been the first in their countries to say U equals U, risking their personal and professional reputations and even their lives to speak the truth to power. So my takeaway today to you is learn the facts. Once you start telling people U equals U, and I know you will, you're going to need backup, because not everyone is going to believe you. U=U.org has all the information you need to prove to people that it's true. Choose facts over fear. Don't allow your personal trauma and anxieties to override the science. Stop scaring people. Borrow confidence from the experts. You're sharing a message of freedom and hope. You can really say the risk is zero. You can't pass it on. It's true. Number 3, challenge authority. U equals U has been an act of revolution. Many of the power structures and leaders that were meant to protect us didn't have our backs. Hold them accountable. If they're not using every platform to get this information out urgently, Tell them to do their jobs. Make it a priority. We can't be passive about this message. It's too important. Number 4, leave no one behind. We say that a lot. We really mean it. It's not just recycled rhetoric. U equals U is a revolution that must include everyone. Everyone deserves this information. We're tired of the gatekeepers that are telling us trans women couldn't handle U equals U. People who inject drugs are too complicated to understand what it means to be undetectable. People from Africa don't have cell phones, we heard, and they won't understand what it means to be undetectable. We need to teach them, we need to educate. Everyone deserves this information. And remember that many people are not undetectable. We are not defined by our lab tests. And in the most extreme case of Venezuela, which we heard about tonight, we need to do whatever we can to use U equals U as a public health argument, and we need to use this movement and the energy of the movement to galvanize action, to help the people living in Venezuela and give them the action and the attention that they desperately need. And the next step is stay in community with us. This community is so much bigger than all of us here or here. It is tens of thousands of people in 100 countries that are moving this message forward. But it can be lonely on the frontier. We're a massive, diverse community that spans the globe and every single key affected population. And we're in this together. We're supporting each other. We're sharing ideas. We're sharing strategies. We're crying with each other. We're experiencing joy with each other. This is a historic shift for people living with HIV and the fields, and we are leading it. So in closing, we really must treat HIV stigma as a public health emergency. And U equals U is an effective response. We need to make it a priority because stigma is killing us. Zero risk means zero excuses. It's time to set us free. Thank you.
Thank you.